Hey, hey, hey. Hi, this is Aura Walker on the Aura Walker Hypnotherapy Show. And this is my last show for 2017. And I think it's like my fifth or sixth show on Radio Buzz. And I'm really happy to be here. It's been really an honor to be part of Radio Buzz. And we're trying to keep it going here. Because we are an independent radio station and we're just starting up and we're trying to find ways to keep us funded. One of those ways is that our producer, Chris, also does SEO for websites. So if you need more followers or if you need more traffic to your website or you need help with your website, please contact Chris at radiobuzz.com. And today I'm going to be talking about a number of topics that will hopefully help people step into the new year on a good footing and end out 2017 in a good way also. So I'm going to be talking about opulence, abundance, balance, and intent because, hi, Mike, we are in the holiday season and there are lots of people who have lots of parties to go to, and then there's some people who don't have any parties to go to or just feel that they are out of place at parties. So I'm going to kind of address the whole gamut. Hi, Wendy. And so I'm going to be talking about opulence, abundance, balance, and intent because of the holiday season and the new year and all of the things that brings up for so many people. And as you might notice today, I'm wearing these colors, gold and red, and I'm wearing some, a little decked out today with some holiday jewelry on, because I want to encourage people to celebrate opulence in their life. And you don't have to have $1 million to look like $1 million. We live in a time where you can pretty much get clothing and accessories for a good budget, if you're living on a budget, for an affordable price. And it's important to put your best self out in the world because as you show your best self out in the world, people will respond to that. And so if you're not feeling great about yourself, it's important to get yourself in a good place where you can present your best self out there. And I also want to address The Last Jedi. I saw that this weekend. And when Star Wars came out, the first one, I was 10 years old and I remember seeing it with my cousins and I was so excited back then. And then I just took my 15-year-old daughter to go see The Last Jedi. Now, the thing is that the name, The Last Jedi, is kind of a misnomer because the story is actually there's never going to be a Last Jedi. It's going to continue on and on and on, not just for the movie studios, but the storyline, if you look at it as a reflection of what's happening in our society and the archetypes and the symbolism, one of the symbols that came out with The Last Jedi, when we look at the Jedis, is that they have all these superpowers, but they really come from very, very humble backgrounds. All the Jedis come from humble backgrounds. Hi, Oscar. And so what I loved about the message in The Last Jedi is that those who feel disempowered actually have a lot more power than they even know that they have. And so I encourage everybody to tap into their own power and to understand what that means. And it's not about being a tyrant. And there's one piece in the whole Star Wars movie set, not the set of the movies, where they're filming, but the set of the movies, right? The whole group of movies, it's not even a trilogy at this point. It's beyond that. I've lost track how many there are now, but there's one point that I think that they missed, that they haven't integrated. And that is they split it between light and darkness. And there are all these archetypes, right, of light and dark, and the journey of the hero between light and dark. And Rey is the first female hero besides Princess Leia, who we see becoming this badass Jedi. And her name Rey, she is a symbol of not only the powerful feminine who's coming into our society that we see today, but she also is the first one to look at her own darkness. I think Luke might have also. Why am I addressing this? Because it is a huge movie right now during our Christmas season, and everyone's going to go out and see this movie, and it really reflects a lot about our inner power and our own struggle, each one of us, with our light and dark side. And so as a hypnotherapist with going on 23 years of experience working with all ages, children, families, adults, people in addiction, people with trauma, one of my specialties is trauma, and I address it because I have seen so many people come into my office with trauma, and trauma is not sexy, and it can be very, very dark. But how do you address pain and trauma in society? It's by looking at it, and not by re-traumatizing someone, but by changing their story into something better. Hi, Jen. And so what I want to encourage everybody is to address your own shortcomings, misgivings, and your own darkness as part of the wholeness that you are. And I'm going to be looping around to this topic of embracing your darkness with the light. So you see I'm wearing this gold and red because it's the holidays, and it's a little festive for Christmas and New Year's. But also my training, I went to a Jedi mind school. I went to Naropa University in Boulder, Colorado. It's a Buddhist-based school. And I got a degree in transpersonal psychology. So transpersonal psychology looks at every crisis as an opportunity for growth. So when you're in crisis, it's important to take a deep breath and look at the crisis and see where the crisis is pointing you to come out ahead. And every crisis has that message in it. So it's just about getting creative with looking at the crisis, not like, oh my God, I'm in crisis, but how can I strive to do better in my life and how to succeed better? And so these Buddha colors, there's 5 Buddha colors, and I'm going to be just focusing on these 2, gold and red. Each Buddha color has a positive and a negative. And I've been talking about the positives and negatives in people and embracing both sides of yourself to become more balanced. So the gold color in the Buddha family it represents in the positive the abundance and harvest that we just experienced with Thanksgiving. And in the negative, it's overabundance, which we see in this country. So much food is wasted, and farmers actually in this country and many other countries that grow produce will throw away produce that is not quote unquote perfect, right? So if it's not a perfect tomato or a perfect carrot, they'll throw it away. And there's so many people who are starving. So really, we don't even need to have people that are starving because we have enough abundance in food in the world on this planet. There is enough. And that idea that there's enough for everybody, I want you to pay attention to that, because if you have a feeling of lack in your life, it's a lie, because there's enough of everything. There's enough work, there's enough food, there's enough everything, enough energy for everyone. And so in the positive, the gold color represents the abundance, the harvest. In the negative, it's food rotting in the fields or food that's being thrown away because there's too much of it and being wasted, right? So it's waste, or it's the over. So it's like a rich person that has so much, they throw this party and there's so much, and then it's just so many leftovers that nobody can use it. So that's the positive and the negative of the symbolism of the color gold or yellow, that bright yellow. And then red, this red color, is in the positive, it is chocolate and wine and healthy sex and eroticism and sensuality and celebration and love. And in the negative, it is addiction and overdoing it, right? Overindulging, too much of everything, too much chocolate, too much wine, too many drugs, too much partying, a hangover, right? It's just too much. And so it's important in this holiday season and always to keep yourself in check and not overdo it, not over consume for your own well-being, but also for your intention walking into the new year. It is possible. It is very possible to have a happy new year and not wake up completely wasted and hungover on New Year's Day. Though some people might think that that's great because they went on a bender. I know that I like to have lucidity and clarity on New Year's Day, even though we are going by the Gregorian calendar, which was Pope Gregory, who, and I'm not going to quote you the exact year because I don't have it in front of me, but he was a quote from, a pope who I'm quoting from ancient times, who decided that we needed a calendar for everybody to abide by. And so what's kind of funny is that time is a continuum, right? The Jews have their calendar, the Chinese have their calendar, the Aztecs have their calendar, the Hindus have their calendar, and then we have the Gregorian calendar, which is the Western calendar from Europe. And so we all abide by this calendar, but really time is a continuum. But by that demarcation of the Gregorian calendar, we say, okay, this is New Year's Day. Now, I talk sometimes about astrology, and I take astrology with a grain of salt, but I am connected to some very, very well-known astrologers and skilled astrologers. And right now we are in the time of the new moon, but there's a lot of planetary stuff going on that's very chaotic. And I don't know if you've noticed that in your own life. There's planets that we're going by that are having a planetary pull on our planet, and they affect electronics, communication. And so even though it's a new moon and that's a new cycle of the moon, and we are mostly water, we human beings, and so we're very much pulled and affected by the lunar cycles, it is not a good time for new ventures. It's a time to wait until after the 22nd, because we're really coming close to these other big planets that are pulling on our electrical field and our magnetic field, and it can create a lot of chaotic energy. And so to remain grounded through this time. And then New Year's Day, believe it or not, is the full moon, which is a time of letting go. And that actually works well with New Year's Day, because even though it's a new beginning, it's a good time to clean out your closet, make lists, get clear what you want to have in your life this new year coming, and the goals that you want. So what you could do is you could have a list. And my mic is going in and out here. Sorry. Okay, there, I got it. So making a list of all the things that you want to get clear about. Hi there, Anne. And having a vision board, so like a cork board or eraser board, somewhere where you can see it, where you put your list up and you actually see it and you work towards those things, and then you check them off as you clear those things off your list for your goals that you want to achieve in 2018. That's something that you can do, and that's a hypnotic modality, right? Because you're seeing the list, you're seeing your goals, and you're working towards them. And something that I wanted to play here, I have a 15-year-old daughter, and of course, you know, I'm exposed to her music, but I have to say that one of the songs that I'm really inspired by, and I've talked about this before, is the song by Miley Cyrus called The Climb. And the reason that I wanted to play it or talk about it is because she talks about the climb. And the climb is when you are working towards your goals, you're going up that mountain, right? There's always going to be another mountain. There's always going to be the climb, another climb. Now, if you've made it and you've achieved it and you've reached the top of the mountain, you're done. And the thing is that life is about the climb and enjoying the climb. It's not about being done, because once you're done, you're done. No matter what it is, if it's your career, right? You don't want your career to be done, right? That's like the sad story of like a has-been movie star. Their career is done, which we've seen that happen recently with a lot of these guys who don't know how to keep it in their pants. But you know, you want to enjoy the climb and the challenge of your life. So if you can flip that script for yourself, if you're feeling really like worn out about things that you haven't achieved, know that you have encountered that experience and you've gone beyond it, and you're continuing the climb. And when I look at my life that way, each achievement that I achieve is a step towards the next achievement. So that's something really important to keep in mind. I want to talk about the message of staying in balance. I talked about not partying too hard, you know, having, indulging yourself, having a few drinks, that champagne toast, but keeping yourself in check so that you can be clear in the new year, walking into the new year with your goals and keeping that balance in yourself. So I talked about the symbolism of the color red and how in the negative, in the positive, it is that sharing of food and the wonderful sensual feeling of coming together and partying together, celebrating together. But in the negative, it's that overindulgence and that hangover of that experience. And so to be mindful and keep yourself in balance so that you can walk into this time that we have called our new year in balance, and to have clear set goals for yourself so that you can stay focused. I guarantee you're going to feel a lot better about where you are in your life and where you're going. And so I want to encourage everybody this holiday season, whether you decide to spend it more alone, because some people don't like to go out or they can't, they get overwhelmed. And some people really like to party and they like to be with a lot of people. So it's really up to each individual's comfort level. But wherever you are in your life, in your space, in your development, to know that if you accept those parts of yourself that we deem negative or dark, and you say, yes, this is what my experience is, this is where I've been, this is part of who I am, but it's not my whole story. And then you decide to improve yourself and have a better experience in the future and build off of that experience. You know, Oprah Winfrey is a perfect example, right? So whether or not you're a fan of Oprah Winfrey, she had a horrible childhood. I mean, terrible. And she has become such a success story because she did not let that be the end of her story. And that was part of her journey and her climb. And she keeps climbing and she keeps having these new endeavors and new adventures and new goals for herself. And I'm just using her as an example. But I want to encourage all of you out there to accept both parts of yourselves, all parts of yourselves, the light and the dark parts of yourselves, so that you are whole. The person who professes only to be of pure light and doesn't have any darkness at all, doesn't have any mood swings or bad days, those people scare me because they're going to go postal on somebody. I mean, I have more respect for somebody who can, you know, complain and tell me about their problems because they're at least getting it out of their system. So if you do walk in light, you have to be able to talk about darkness and what that darkness means. It's not to dwell in it, but it's to address it so that you can get it out of the way. So I want to wish everybody out there in Cyberland a happy holiday season from all of us at RadioBuzz.com. And again, if you need any help with your website or SEO, our producer, Chris, here, it's one of the services we provide at Radio Buzz. He can help you with that, and we can help you get more streamlined and more followers. And we also do promotions for businesses. So if you're interested in any of that, please contact our producer, Chris, at RadioBuzz.com. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. And I will see you in 2018. Peace out.